Hey, it's Jackie. Today we're going to talk about everybody's favorite, the food on the Mardi Gras. So if you've been watching along, there are several videos on the Mardi Gras, and there'll be probably 2 or 3 more. But today we're going to talk about food. So just up front, Carnival's not my favorite line. And I'm not a foodie, so don't come for me. This is just my opinion on what I experienced on the Mardi Gras. So it is a very different trip to me than most Carnival. It has lots of options. And let me be honest about, I've never known anybody to go hungry on a cruise ship, and I certainly have never. There's always plenty of options. There's even more in the Mardi Gras. To me, this is a ship if you are a foodie. There's lots of little options. There's lots of specialty restaurants. To me, this is the ship you go on if you're a big foodie. You have a lot of options, a lot of different types of food on board. What I don't think it does a good job with is the buffet, to me, was not good. I mean, there's no way around saying it, being polite. As I've said before, I always give you an honest review. I'm not monetized, and I'm not a travel agent. I'm not getting any big cruise discounts or anything of that type. I have a very, very tiny channel, so you're going to get an honest opinion. The buffet to me was bad. No way around it. It was not good. It wasn't available when it should be, if that makes any sense. Like when we got there, right? What do you first thing you do when you get on a cruise, right? You can't go to your room yet usually. You go to the buffet. Wasn't open. Had to wait. Everybody was there waiting. That seemed kind of weird. And then on the days when you get back from port, right? If you don't have an early dinner time, right? You go to the buffet, you get some food. It wasn't open, or there was only one side open. I think mostly there was only one side open. It was inconvenient, but there are food places all over the ship. So you're not going to go hungry in any stretch of imagination. There were a couple things that I was really pleased with. Emeralds. They do charge you, but my husband got a big 2 plates, really, of crab dolls. Crab dolls? Is that how you say it? Anyway, at Emerald's for $7, and he thought it was a pound. And it says it's market price. At the time it was $7. I'll put that pictures in. I have pictures of menus, so keep watching. If you want to see specific pictures and menus and that kind of stuff, I have them attached. He thought it was just going to be on a little plate, but it was kind of in juice with potatoes and other things in it. A great deal. And the food was good. The pizza to me was okay, just like every other Carnival ship. Pizza's pizza. What I was really looking forward to, and I was really disappointed was, especially my husband, was the deli sandwiches. Usually the deli and the pizza is up by the pool on the Lido deck, open long hours or 24 hours. And that's been one of his favorites. And in this place, on the Mardi Gras, they had it in 2 places. Once with where the coffee shop is, you could get deli sandwiches, and one next to the pizza on deck 8. But it wasn't as good. And one of the reasons I don't think it was as good is they weren't flexible at all. So they had pictures, they had, not pictures, they had the actual sandwiches with the numbers on them. So you just had to give the person the numbers who didn't speak English very well. So it was good there were numbers. And that's what you got. Like you couldn't say on a number 5, take off the cheese. No. Or you couldn't say, could you give me this cheese instead of that cheese? Wasn't happening. So they were very inflexible. So I didn't think it was as good. The old deli works better. It is nice to have in 2 different places. Maybe they could go back to being a little bit more flexible, and it would be just as good or better. So I really liked Emerald's. I really liked the coffee shop for milkshakes. Now, we got a deal. It wasn't much of a deal, but the price was probably pretty much full price, but it had a drink package. Now, we don't drink. I shouldn't say we don't drink anything, but if we have 2 drinks a day, that's a lot. Um, so, but we got the drink package. We do drink soda, and my husband likes coffee, and I didn't know it, but I love the milkshakes. So every day I had at least 1 milkshake at the coffee shop. It was great. So those are 2 things that we really, really did enjoy beyond normal. We did go to the seafood place. I have mixed reviews on that. I think the lobster that I got, the lobster I had in the main dining room was just as good. It was a little smaller, but you know, at the main dining room I could have got 2. So I have kind of mixed reviews on that. And maybe if I was more of a foodie, I would have enjoyed the presentation more. It was just okay for me. Probably I wouldn't I wouldn't go back. So that's my review. There are other people that loved it. So I do always caution you though, and you know, take into consideration what you personally like, and then weigh it against what other YouTubers are saying. Remember, some of them are going free on these cruises, or they're going very reduced because they're travel agents. So, you know, keep that in mind, guys. See what it looks like. See if it's something you would like. Like I said, I'm not a foodie. I like very simple food. The seafood place was just okay, and I wouldn't pay the price again. Like I said, the lobster was bigger, but the lobster in the main dining room was just as good. To be quite honest, I don't normally go to specialty restaurants unless it's something special. We usually go to the steakhouse. But unfortunately, right before we were leaving for this, my husband had to have some dental work done, and he wasn't really up to eating a really thick, juicy steak, so we skipped it this time, and we tried the seafood. I also live in Maryland on the Eastern Shore, where seafood is king, and so sometimes the seafood on ships doesn't live up to my standards. And I always bring a little thing of Old Bay spicing because I need it on my shrimp and my seafood. So with that in mind, the other things, I think what they're doing really well on the Mardi Gras is all the different specialties. Jack chicken, it's great. I mean, it is a little spicy. My husband could have done it without the spice, but he had the 3-egg omelet there in the morning. He said it was excellent. I saw other people getting the breakfast sandwiches, and they all, you know, were raving about them. The chicken to me was excellent. You can't go wrong with that. The weird thing about it was I've never been a Guy's burger. You know, I thought it was just always okay. I thought the Guy's burgers on this ship was excellent. In fact, much better than I've had before, and I don't know why. I'm assuming they all follow the same recipes, or, you know, they all get their burgers at the same place. I don't know what it is, but the Guy's burgers on the ship were excellent. So those 2 things alone were really great to me. Emerald's was really great. The Italian restaurant, we went there, it's free right now. We went there for lunch. It was okay. You know, I wouldn't pay for it. Don't come for me, Carnival people or Mardi Gras people, but I really likened it to an Olive Garden. So I wouldn't go out of my way to pay for it. But it's an option. The buffet to me was just really bad. I'm going to go back to that. I heard people talking, and I think this might be what they're doing. Maybe Mardi Gras is going to be more of a concept ship, and maybe they're going to get rid of the buffet. To be quite honest, I wouldn't have missed it. I think I'm really a buffet person during lunch, and I think I ate there twice because it wasn't good. And it had the same things, the same type of food every day, which usually the buffet had lots of other options, and it just didn't. So that's my opinion on that. The other thing is the main dining room was, that's usually where we eat. And I really looked forward to the lobster night. The lobster was excellent. The prime rib was not. It was kind of stringy. It was really thin. You'll see the pictures. It wasn't great. But the lobster was really good. And, you know, at the main dining room, you can order, if you don't like it, you can get something else. In fact, because my husband had this dental issue while we were there, he did a couple times where he got something and it just was too hard for him, too hard on his mouth, and he got other things. And we've done that when we didn't like stuff, and they're always very nice. We did have one night that we didn't have great service. You know, you go in and you know, they sit you wherever they want. We had one night the service wasn't all that great, but other than that, the service was always good. I have to say something really weird about Emeril's. Now that we're talking about service, it's kind of a weird concept. There are waitresses and waiters, but you go to the counter and you order, and then they just bring it to you, which is kind of weird to me. I mean, I like, why do that in that way? But like I said, the food was good. He had the crawfish. I had banana foster. One day I had something else. Well, you'll see in the pictures, but I thought the food was good and it was reasonable. It wasn't crazy. The banana foster was $5. Crawfish to me was, I think I've been saying that wrong. Crawfish was $7 a pound. It was more than enough for him to eat. So that to me was a good deal. I kind of would like them to, you know, more and more people were saying, you know, what's the deal with the buffet? I kind of would like them to either go back to their normal standard with the buffet or change it into something else. It's taken up a lot of real estate for not being all that good. And let me tell you, there were options everywhere. Up at the Serenity deck, they have salad bar. Excellent. I mean, that's a great concept. Really by every pool, which there are multiple. We'll get into that in another video. I really love that. There were multiple options for pools. There's food near them. So that is really good. So it's just different on the Mardi Gras. You might eat places that you don't normally eat, or not eat at places. Like I said, buffet to me was always the place that I went to during the day, but not on the Mardi Gras. So hope you enjoy the pictures and the videos. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like if you get anything out of this video. It really does help a small channel. Please subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. And then you are notified when I, you know, put up another video, and you might want to hear more about the Mardi Gras. I have a cabin tour. I have the embarkation. I'm going to have my likes and dislikes on the Mardi Gras. And so stay tuned. Thanks. Hey, I jumped back on for a second. I want to talk about room service. My husband's big on room service. Don't know why. You can get food everywhere, but he enjoys it. When I traveled with my kids, they were ridiculously with the room service. You'd come back and there'd be plates everywhere. It's different on the Mardi Gras, and I think it's different on Carnival ships as a whole in recent years, but they do charge you at certain times of the day. There is like the menu. I'll put the menu up, but there's a section that's free and a section that costs. Now the cost is like $5, but just be aware of that. If I had kids, they would probably be not paying attention to that. They would be just ordering, and you would get, you know, a $20 bill for room service, which is probably not worth $20. But just an FYI. The other thing is he didn't like, is he's not very techy, is that you had to use your phone and you had to use a scanner, because it just had the little, you know, the little scan thing, not the menu itself, I guess because of germs and COVID. What I did was I scanned it and I just saved that image, which is what you're going to see, so that he didn't have to scan it every time. So just beware of that. That's a change. And the last time I was on a cruise, he didn't go. So it might have been like that right before COVID too, where they were charging for some things. I don't remember that piece because I don't usually do room service. But that is something just to pay attention to. And they have really good stuff on the room service too. So, you know, if that's your thing, go for it. And just remember to look at the menu closely, because there is a pay section and a free section. And then there's a time later at night, like overnight, where I think almost everything is a charge. So just an FYI, I'll put it in. Thanks.